We saw Cuckoo. We're not entirely sure what happens in Cuckoo.
Yeah, we know we saw it.
Yes.
We can attest to that.
For
and
sure.
We're going to do for you a non-spoiler review because A, we're still super confused about what actually happened. And so B, we don't want to like say things that are spoilers. Like what even is a spoiler?
Can I spoil a movie I didn't get? I don't know. Maybe. We'll do our best.
Try not to.
No, for heaven's sake.
You guys subscribe because movies like Cuckoo are very much our jam around here. We love talking about weird, elevated art house horror from folks like Neon and A24. So if you love the kind of film too, come and hang out with us.
Come work for me at the resort.
This happens sometimes.
Hunter Schafer is a 17-year-old who is forced to move to what seems like an idyllic resort in the Bavarian Alps. Her father and his new wife and their little girl, and they all move to this resort for who knows how long. Her mother has died recently. She is grieving. And it looks like beautiful and scenic and idyllic, but the longer she stays there, the more she realizes that weird things are going on, mostly because of Dan Stevens. And this movie works on any level because of Dan Stevens doing what he's doing and Hunter Schafer doing what she is doing, because he is once again using his incredible good looks for sinister purpose. Like there's something about him that is beautiful and also terrifying.
Yeah, untrustworthy.
Right? Totally untrustworthy. Like there's like a slickness about him and a piercing quality to his eyes, and he knows that, and he leans into the foreboding weirdness of his presence. He also gets to speak perfect German again, as he did in I'm Your Man.
Yes.
He's fluent in German, and watching Dan Stevens speak German is kind of hot, even when he is clearly the bad guy here.
It's much more sinister here than when he does it in The Man or I'm Your Man.
For sure. For sure. And so it is what happens as Hunter Schafer's character like tries to navigate this increasingly bizarre and unsettling world. And there's a great sense of mood for a while, and the use of sound design and really severe shadows. Like the Alps themselves, they're beautiful, but also foreboding. Like the way that the director shoots them, like underneath, it almost looks like a wall, like a concrete wall prison.
Yeah.
And you can feel how stuck she is. And every chance she might get to possibly leave this place is thwarted. It reminded me a lot of what's going on with Florence Pugh's character in Midsummer, where she knows something is wrong here and nobody will listen to her.
Yes.
Right. And she again, in a beautiful foreign land.
And is traumatized over the death of a relative.
Right. And is dealing with grief. Exactly. And so you don't know what's real and what's her trauma. So I liked this for a while. And then the more it explains what is actually going on here, the more confusing it becomes. To such an extent that it takes you out and you're distracted. You're like, wait, what? We were talking about Trap earlier, going, wait, what in Trap? Similarly here, but it's just because it's so complicated. And at the end, I'm like, wait, why? Also, wait, what? But also, wait, why? So it feels like it falls apart eventually. Yeah,
it was kind of, it reminded me, this was an issue that I had with Jordan Peele's Us, where I kind of felt like explain more or explain less. But what you've told us is, it just raises more questions. And yeah, it's distracting. It's taking me out of the story because I'm like, wait, and then why did you know, so yeah, like, if you want to come away from this movie with a clear understanding of what's actually happening and why it's actually happening, the movie's not particularly interested in giving you that. And I think there are films that can get away with that sort of thing, again, if they tell you less or tell you more. But this is right in that sweet spot of like, now I'm confused. So that did take me out of it. But yeah, up to that point, there's a lot to love here. You're right. Schafer and Stevens are giving it their all, and they're both really fascinating to watch in their own way. The production design, like this resort was clearly built in the 70s, and there's also
earlier, maybe the 60s even.
Yeah, that's true. There's also a hospital that was built around the same time, and all the interiors have that kind of like, brutalist miserableism from like, remember like in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, you know, where everything was just like that period of design where it just everything kind of feels off-putting. And I think the fact that it's Euro off-putting kind of really gives Hunter Schafer a little more sense of displacement and you know, feeling out of sorts with her surroundings. I like the moxie of this movie, and I like the look of this movie, and I like the acting in this movie, but the writing just really takes a weird veer. And again, like if they had wanted to explain less to me, great, fine. I love an enigmatic movie. I love that the strangers show up because you were home. You know, like that's all you have to give me. And I don't need a lengthy explanation. But if you're going to start explaining stuff, you then have to kind of finish, or else we're like, but why?
Yeah. Tilman Singer is the writer director here, and has all kinds of interesting little grace notes along the way. Like, for example, the fact that Hunter Schafer's character's name is Gretchen. But Dan Stevens' character insists on pronouncing it in the most like
Germanic,
like the most Germanic way.
Teutonic.
Totally. Like, and it's a passive aggressive thing that goes on between the two of them from the very start, where she's like, my name is Gretchen. And so of course he's even leaning harder into that R, Gretchen. And so there's humor in that. There's a lot of humor in her performance in general, because she's just deadpan, surly teenager, like wants no part of this and sees through it. And that's funny for a while because she's like our conduit. She's like saying what we are thinking as far as what is up with this place and with these people. And, you know, she has to work at the hotel at some point, and like that presents all kinds of increasingly absurd scenarios that she's forced to deal with and doesn't want to. And like, who could blame her? So she is sort of our anchor, but then has to find like a fortitude within her. And there's a sound design choice that at the beginning is very unsettling. And then the director leans into it over and over and over again to such an extent that it just becomes off-putting. I'm like, enough. I get it. The sound does things and it's disturbing, and it's prolonged and it's shrill. And so just FYI, there's a super annoying noise in this movie that they keep going to over and over again.
But there are like some really effective moments. Like there's the scene where she's riding at home at night on her bike, and her shadow going under the street lights is like, that pays off in a really effective way. But again, it pays off with a thing that is terrifying when you only see a little of it, and then when you later see a lot of it, it's like, okay, you know. So I don't know if this is a movie that just needs extensive re-editing or something, but like there's some great, it's got good bones, you know, as a realtor would say, but it just doesn't quite deliver, you know?
Yeah. I like Jessica Henwick in this too, as the stepmom, because she's like beautiful and coolly elegant, but there's an evolution with her as well that's kind of unsettling. So I thought she was quite good in this. It's a good cast. She looks great. Production design's great. And it just becomes like, what the hell after a while. So if you have seen Cuckoo, or you're going to plan to see Cuckoo and you think you get it, let us know.
Kindly tell us.
Please. So then what is your number, my friend?
5.5. I think I dug the mood, but it just the actual writing, I think, really undoes itself.
Yeah, I'm around there too. I'll say like a 5.8. So yes, we are early on Cuckoo. It comes out this Friday. Let us know if you're going to see it.